things for the people of Quebec.
Number 4, Wellington, Halton Hills.
Speaker, the government has an opportunity to answer a question that I asked twice yesterday. This is a serious matter in the public interest that requires an answer. Who are the 11 election candidates who received hundreds of thousands of dollars funneled through the Beijing's consulate in Toronto in the 2019 election?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to remind the honourable members what the motivation of foreign interference is. It's not to advance any partisan interest. It's to sow chaos, and it is to destroy our democracy as we know it. Our government will never tolerate it. The RCMP and our intelligence agencies are investigating, and Canadians expect us to do the work that is required and take the action, which is what we are doing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Wellington, Halton Hills.
The government's right, Mr. Speaker. This isn't a partisan issue. Both Liberal and Conservative candidates are implicated in receiving these illegal funds. But we need answers, public answers in this House, so investigations can be launched by parties on both sides of this aisle, by Elections Canada, by other relevant authorities. So who are the 11 election candidates who received these illegal monies funneled by Beijing through its Toronto consulate in the 2019 election campaign?
The Honourable Minister for Intergovernmental Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, we're very appreciative of the focus of the Conservative Party on foreign interference in Canadian elections because it's something that we've been concerned about for a long time. The Conservatives have recently decided that this is an important issue, but Mr. Speaker, good news. Our government set up a critical incident election protocol chaired by the Clerk of the Privy Council with the help of Canada's security and intelligence agencies to monitor exactly the kind of situation that my friend has addressed. It worked very well, and there was no change in the outcome of the election, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable.
Création d'un réseau.
The creation of an underground network of candidates in 2019, infiltration of agents' offices, agents into MPs' offices, pressure tactics on politicians, a campaign to punish Canadian politicians. It's not a James Bond movie, it's real life. The last 2 Canadian elections were allegedly targeted by the Chinese Communist regime. The Prime Minister knew about it. The Prime Minister did nothing. Why? What does the Prime Minister know, and why is he trying to hide it from Canadians? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
As I said previously, we will never tolerate foreign interference. The whole purpose of foreign interference is to destroy democracy as we know it. The agencies responsible, the RCMP and the intelligence agencies, are investigating. We are taking action. We always will stand up for our democracy. We will never take it for granted. And we know that foreign interference is aimed at destroying that democracy.
The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable. We know that the Chinese Communist regime has interfered in the 2021 election and the Liberals didn't do anything, despite the revelations which show that this regime was also massively interfering in the 2019 election. Nobody's been charged or sentenced for this, for interfering in these 2 elections. Guy Saint-Jacques, Canada's former ambassador to China, has said that the Conservatives several Conservative candidates lost their elections because of the Chinese Secret Services. Mr. Speaker, I'm just asking for one thing. Is there an MP in the Liberal benches who is one of the 11 candidates who received money from the Chinese Communist Party? The Honourable Minister. I'd like to thank my colleague for this important question. Mr. Speaker, when it's a question of national security, it affects all parliamentarians. It's not a political question. It's a question of national interest, Mr. Speaker. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, this government has taken restrictive measures to protect science and research in Canada. And more recently, Mr. Speaker, we blocked 3 transactions to protect our critical minerals in this country, Mr. Speaker. We take national security very seriously, like all parliamentarians should.